Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to bring you something I've been eagerly awaiting for the past few weeks, the Merlin Tarot from R.J. Stewart Books. The author and artist is R.J. Stewart, and this apparently comes from Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. So let us get this opened up. Quickest way I know how, with scissors. Okay. Here we have, Magical Tales, the storytelling tradition. And along with that, let's see, this is very nicely protectively wrapped. Okay. The Merlin Tarot. R.J. Stewart and Miranda Gray, copyright 2016. So let's take a look at the book. And I'll put the link in the description box down below. Oh, personally signed. I'm going to just kind of look at the, this is a preface to the first edition, which was apparently 1998. Oh, let's see, the original edition, 1990. Oh, okay, so it was in 1990 that it was originally produced and then reprinted in 1998. So we have how to use the book, how a book was found, the gift that cannot be refused. Oh my gosh, this is very interesting. This is not really related to the deck per se. 15 stories in this collection are drawn from those that he has written over the last 10 years. Oh wow, this is cool. Well, I don't know that it relates to the deck. It's some magical tales. Okay, well, this apparently is a book of tales. It does have some relevance to tarot because this is the correspondence table. So we have south, summer, fire, and related to noon. We have west, which is evening, water, and autumn. We have north, which is winter, earth, and night. And we have east, which is spring, air, and morning. This is exactly how I view the correspondences for tarot. For me, south is wands. Summer, fire, and noon is also related to the south. West is water, which is also autumn, and evening, and cups. North is pentacles, which is also related to winter, earth, and night. And east would be related to swords, spring, air, and morning. So I guess I must have learned old school, these correspondences to relate to tarot, because that's the way I relate the four suits of the tarot to the seasons and the directions and the elements. With this book, the reader will learn many ways of working with magical stories, including visualization, meditation, and methods of using storytelling for personal development. Okay, well, that'll be really interesting to read. Very cool. Let us get into the deck. Okay, R.J. Stewart Books, 2016. The Merlin Tarot. But let's get into the cards and see what they look like. So there's where you can buy his products, rjstewart.net. Got a flip top box here. Okay. There's no little white book per se. I love this cardstock. It's very nice. Here are the backs of the cards. So let's kind of go through them one by one. Okay, I think I'm going to have to go through and arrange these by suit. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, I went back to my invoice and looked at the website, and what I paid for and ordered was the tarot deck, the 78 cards, plus these two kind of the system of this deck cards that explain it. And apparently I paid $30 for the deck. There was no shipping, no tax, and they sent me this book for free. So I did not remember ordering it. Kind of cool to get a freebie like that. So this deck is unusual, and I had a little bit of trouble getting it in order because it came all different, all shuffled up. But there's some particular system that R.J. Stewart has for tarot, and I really don't know what it is. He has reordered the major arcana cards, and as I said, I don't know what his creative vision is. I would have to probably look online for some kind of a course. But what I did to make it easier for me, because I was just drawn to the artwork, I like the Celtic Pantheon, so I put the cards in order the way I would like to see them. And let us start with the majors. So you cannot look at the numbers here because these do not correspond to Rider-Waite or Thoth Tarot. So I just put them in order the way they would be in a regular deck. So here we have the Fool. I love the artwork in this deck, is why I bought it. The dog is very sweet. Here at the precipice here. A very beautiful card. The Magician. All the tools are there. There's a lot of detail in these cards. Here is the Priestess, or the High Priestess. I love her robes. Looks very bird-like, feathers sort of. There's a bird here. A couple of figure faces there. This is an interesting deck. I love the artwork, and who knows, maybe I'll investigate more as to why they were renumbered, but to me it doesn't really matter. I could just white out these numbers here and they probably wouldn't bother me. Here is the Empress. She looks like a very typical Empress card out in nature. Bounty. Fruitfulness. This is also a very typical Emperor card. Even his posture and the way he's seated and the way that the stones are set with the different alternating colors. I love the look on his face. And this would be the Hierophant, but in this deck it's called Innocent. The Lovers. Even to having the angelic figure behind, it's very similar to Rider-Waite. The Chariot. Love this Chariot card. Justice. I love that there's an owl there on the scales. Wisdom is making the decision. The Hermit. And the little wren. Very sweet. The Wheel of Fortune. Looks like we've got the representations of the seasons or the elements there. Strength. It's a very friendly lion. The Hanged Man. Look at all the details in this card. It's just gorgeous. I had another deck just recently that I went through, And I had said that that was one of the favorite Hanged Man cards that I had ever seen. That was the Tarot of Transformation. And I also really love this Hanged Man. Usually that's a card that doesn't really do too much for me. Here's Death. Kind of a reaping. I love the spider web too. It gives it kind of a mysterious feel. Temperance. We've got a lot of different elements represented here. Salamander and volcano for fire. We've got earth. We've got water. Look how he's bridging the gap between water and land there. It's really a beautiful card. Here we have the Guardian, which I think I had corresponded that to the Devil. Only because I couldn't figure out where else he would go, and the word guardian doesn't really correlate to devil, but maybe they've replaced the concept of a devil, which is really not Celtic at all. It's more Christian. And so this is a more pagan card for this area of the majors. So there is the Guardian instead of the Devil. Really like that concept of replacing a devil with the Guardian. Here is the Tower. Pretty typical tower. The Star. The Moon. The Sun. And there's kind of the figure from the back of the cards. Looks pretty similar to me. Judgment. And the Universe. Again, this is pretty typical of the Rider-Waite Universe card, or the World. Okay, so we will be back with the Minor Arcana. Okay, so I've sort of arranged the Minor Arcana cards as I would relate to them. Here we have the suit, which would be traditionally swords, and in this deck it is known as birds. So we have birds, serpents, fish, and beasts. So here we have all the aces. Ace of birds, which would be Ace of Swords, Ace of Serpents, which would be Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, or Ace of Fishes, and Ace of Beasts, or Ace of Pentacles. And here are the twos. You can see they have sort of Celtic knot type figures, not knots, but Celtic looking figures to represent the animals. This is birds, two serpents, two fish, and two beasts. And then we've also got keywords: doubt, choice, freedom, and change. Next we're moving on to the threes. The three of birds, which would be the three of swords, is suffering, a similar meaning to Rider-Waite-Smith. The three of serpents, or the three of wands, is intention. The three of fishes is affection. And the three of beasts is effort. All right, moving on to the fours. You can pretty easily see that this is a four. You can see the four elements in each card: birds, serpents, fish, and beasts. And the same with the fives. We've got three in the center, and then one at the top and bottom, which would make it five. So five of birds, loss. Five of serpents, retribution. Five of cups, sorrow. And five of beasts is conflict. The sixes are also pretty easy to identify at a glance. You've got two groups of three in each card. So here we've got the birds, transition, balance for six of wands, joy for six of cups, and benefit for the six of beasts or pentacles. Here are the sevens, and we've got 3 in the center, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. So that's how you can identify at a glance the sevens. Dishonesty for swords or birds. Ability for serpents or wands. Humor for fish or cups. And attention for beasts or pentacles. Now the 8s can be identified. There's 2 groups of 3 and then 1 at the top and bottom in each card. And you could also, if you wanted to, you could write the number down here in the margin. So here we have 8 of birds, 8 of serpents, 8 of fish or cups, and the 8 of beasts or pentacles. Next we have the 9s, pretty easy to identify. 3 groups of 3 in all these cards. Misfortune for the 9 of birds. Endurance for the 9 of serpents. Fulfillment for 9 of fishes. And means for 9 of beasts. And the 10s are also, once you kind of look at the cards and see how they are patterned, you can tell the 10s at a glance as well. 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. So 2 groups of 3, 2 groups of 2, 10. 10 of birds, disaster. 10 of serpents, responsibility. 10 of fishes, friendship. And 10 of beasts, opportunity. So they have a slight different keyword meaning than the Rider-Waite cards, but actually it's very similar if you think about that. And then we have our court cards, and they do not identify what they are. They merely state the suit, but these are the pages. Birds, serpents, fishes, and beasts. And they're really pretty cards. I'm going to get in. Well, maybe I'll just bring them up one by one so you can have a better look. Birds. Serpents. Page of serpents. Page of fishes. And the page of beasts. Really like that with the fox. That's very nice. Here we have the knights. Same thing. They don't tell you that they're knights, but they're figures on horseback, so that's how you can identify that they're the knights. Knight of birds. Knight of serpents. These cards are just beautiful. Knight of fishes. My camera's having a little difficulty focusing because I've got busy stuff in the background. And the Knight of beasts. Very sweet. I like how he's got this harvesty theme. And the fact that the horse is sort of patterned after Clydesdale. It's a little more plodding than the other horses, and that's very typical of the Knight of Pentacles or the Knight of Beasts in this deck. All right, then we have all our beautiful queens. Queen of Birds, which would be Queen of Swords. Queen of Serpents, or Queen of Wands. I like that there's a cat included on this card, pretty typical for the Queen of Wands. Queen of Fishes. And the Queen of Beasts, or Pentacles. As I said, I know a lot of people don't really like so-called pip decks, and this is definitely a pip deck, but the artwork in general is just so beautiful. I just couldn't resist it. And I think if you're an intermediate reader, this might not be good for you if you're a beginning reader, but if you're very familiar with Rider-Waite and you want to get another deck that kind of moves a little different direction, then I could highly recommend this deck. All right, look at these kings. Don't they look wonderful? All on their thrones with their elemental symbols. Wands, cups, pentacles, and swords. So the King of Swords with his bird, stormy sky in the background. The King of Wands. It's got a salamander here. We've got a snake here. We've got orange and yellow fiery colors. Serpent on his top of his crown. Very cool. And the King of Fishes. All the water elements. A dolphin or porpoise and a crab. Some sort of seashell type things here. Very nice. And pulling up the rear here, we have the King of Beasts or King of Pentacles. Got the badger. Very earthy throne here with carvings of animals in it. Very cool, I like that. He's got bread there signifying the material world and food. Great. The cardstock is really nice in this deck. The cards are not too thick or too thin. They are flexible but firm. And the deck itself is not too big. Now they also have a mini deck. I don't know what size the mini deck is. This regular size deck costs $30. And they also offer on the rjstewart.net website a mini deck for $22. So you might want to check that out. Oop. Very nice shuffling. Very good. I was really tempted to order the mini deck because I have trouble grasping cards and shuffling them. Now this deck is not too big for me. So yay for that. Okay. Oops, that one wanted to pop out. So let's put a few here, a few in a row so you can get an idea of how it looks for a reading. So that is it. So that's my quick walkthrough. This is the Merlin Tarot by R.J. Stewart. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe to my channel, and we'll talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.